Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome to another episode of Designer Head. It's been a while. I know I started saying at the beginning of this entire endeavor that I will try and do once a week a video. Unfortunately, my time just does not permit to do me every week, but I am trying to do a cadence of every couple of weeks. So maybe I'll increase it and do every week, but for now I think it's gonna stick to every couple of weeks. However, welcome, and I appreciate you being in this channel, or on this channel, in this channel, doesn't matter. But for those of you who are new here, my name is Jan, and I am the host of Designer Head. This is my YouTube channel, and I talk about design in general, typically my rants, my opinions, and whatnot. I talk about transitioning into UX product design, I teach it, I mentor it, and so on and so forth. If you're here for the first time, like, subscribe, leave comments below, and on that note, I'm gonna start talking about what we are talking about today. And today is going to be every episode I say it's an interesting one, because to me, I think it is an interesting one. And the reason why I am saying it is an interesting one, because today we're gonna be talking about portfolios. Here's the thing. There is a bit of a notion of people not necessarily having portfolios, or there's some kind of echoes in the industry of people saying that maybe we don't need portfolios because they're not necessarily expressing what we're looking for, what people are, and regardless of what the opinions are, portfolios are a must for any creative, period. And I don't care what people say. You can quote me on that. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about portfolios, and without further ado, let's hit it. All right, so portfolios. What are portfolios? Well, it's actually coming back from historically, and this is a kind of a debate that I had with somebody some time ago, probably a few months ago. Anyway, don't remember, doesn't matter. What are portfolios? Portfolios essentially is a body of work of what you have done previously in whatever you were doing, either as on the client side or full-time job, or I don't know, freelance, personal projects, and the list goes on, whatever the fuck it is, doesn't matter. It is everything that you have done as a creative up to X point, right? It doesn't have to be absolutely everything you've done, but it has to be your best work forward, right? It's essentially what you want to put forward as your best work on your body of work. And portfolios do not necessarily have to be digital, right? We've just been in this digital era for the last over 2 decades. And personal websites became a thing over about a decade ago. And so presenting your portfolio as a personal website, it's kind of common. Obviously some people are trying to be different, and they're like, no, I'm gonna do it in different ways or whatnot. But if we're looking at this historically, right, at the beginning of times of artistic creations and artistic sanctioned work, essentially somebody is hiring somebody to do some artistic work for them, right? Back in the day, it was the kings and queens and different royals who would hire a painter or a sculptor or a writer to do things for them, right? And they'll pay them for that, either painting, anything on their muraled walls, or creating or a calligraphy of something of their book, or rewriting the Bible at the time back in the day. And the list goes on, right? Or carving a sculpture of their wife or loved ones, or a lover, or themselves, doesn't matter. So it has been historically carried with us, right? Because before, a portfolio would be something that somebody said, hey, there's this artist that I personally know or seen or heard of that have done this work for this royal, this city, that place, this place, and hence means this person is famous or known as a good artist, which in turn would provide a more of a I guess a trusting feeling to whoever is looking for such artistic service to say, yes, I'm gonna hire this person because X, Y, and Z person that I know said that they're good, and so I'm gonna rely on that. Or if that person saw something in person of an artist that did something that now they want to hire for their stuff. Now, going forward, when we entered the world of more of a modern era where a painter would be sanctioned to paint something because of his previous work. Either somebody saw their work in the gallery, or somebody saw their work in a catalog or a magazine or newspaper or anywhere else. And so now they're impressed with their work and they want to hire them to do something for them. Going forward, a little bit leaping into more of a modern age of 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and so forth, and looking at an industry that is closer to our industry, but back in the day, which is the ad industry, the advertising industry. The advertising industry, any copywriter, any creative, any artist or whatnot that wants to apply for a job at any creative agency or ad agency or whatnot will come with this massive kind of a bag, if you will, or a portfolio, hence a portfolio, of their work, right? And it's going to be either copies or an actual originals that people can, the hiring manager can literally just sit on the table and just flip through it and look through their work to establish if this artist or copywriter or creative will be a good fit or what they're looking for in terms of quality and so forth for the position they're hiring for. Jumping a little bit forward into our modern days. Now, modern days, what started happening back in mid-2000s to early to mid-2000s, I apologize. What started happening is creatives started sending out things as PDFs, right? You can send out your PDF as a creative, and somebody will go through your portfolio digitally. You don't necessarily have to print out your entire thing, organize it properly the way you want people to experience your work progress, right? People used to organize in these kind of folders of their work of what's coming first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and so forth, because when people are flipping through it, they wanted to create some sort of like a narrative or a story, how they want people to experience their earlier work through their middle growth, and then to their current or the latest work of how they progressed and how they developed, right, and then so forth. Equally, the same thing was happening with PDFs and digital files, where they'll be organized in such a way that when people scroll through them, they'll see, the first, second, third, fourth, and so forth of pages of different work and how the creative progressed in their career, where they started maybe, how do they grew, and where they are in the current time. Now, fast forwarding to today. Today, a portfolio essentially, in most cases, it's a website. It can be a Wix or Squarespace or Webflow or whatever the fuck it is. It doesn't matter which platform you're using, WordPress. It doesn't matter really. What matters really is how do you present it, how do you organize it, what do you put in there, and how do you present yourself? Because here's the thing. Portfolio is your essentially advocate. It's that one thing that goes out there and speaks for you about who you are, why you're a creative, why you're a good creative, whoever you are, right? Visual designer, illustrator, graphic designer, UX designer, product designer, UX researcher, copywriter, UX writer, the list goes on. It doesn't really matter who you are, but this little thing needs to speak for you. And so your job as a creative is to make sure that whatever that thing is, it speaks for you the way you would speak for you. If you would walk into a meeting, or if you would go to every single company that you're applying for a job to and present yourself and say, hi, my name is so-and-so, I'm doing so-and-so, I specialize in so-and-so, my background in so-and-so, here's my work, I am that good, here's how great I am at X, Y, and Z. I might not be the best at this, but I still know it, or if I don't, I can learn it. But these are the things that I'm really good at and I really love doing. Here you are. This is me in a nutshell. And so portfolio is exactly that. And from some odd reason to me, it seems like a lot of people either don't understand the value of it, feel that they're gonna just throw some shit together and people will be like, oh, awesome, cool, and be done with that. And do not actually talk about themselves because why? Well, we're people. We don't really technically want to talk about ourselves unless we're narcissistic egomaniacs that constantly talk about ourselves, right? And obviously nobody wants to appear that way. But from so many people that I've mentored over the last almost 3 years, and before, but especially in the last almost 3 years, 2.5, almost 3 years, is the fact that people are complaining about, well, I submitted my application for a job and I submitted to a bunch of jobs and nothing. Well, they come to me and ask me about portfolios in those mentorship sessions. And I'm sitting there scratching my head and I'm like, what the fuck? Of course you're not gonna get a response. You're applying for a UX design position, yet on your website you say you're a UX/UI designer, which, let's be honest, yes, you can be UX and UI designer. Absolutely. Yes, you can be a UX, UI, visual designer, graphic designer, brand specialist, and so forth. You can be many things at once. If I'm gonna start listing out every single thing that I know how to do, I'm gonna need an entire page just to do that. Just one page to list out every single thing that I've experienced, done in my past, know how to do, maybe not the best, but I still know how to do, but it's not useful. Because when you're applying for a specific position, they're looking for a very specific person with very specific skill sets. Everything you bring on with you, it's just an addition, a nice to have, something that I'll look at and say, you know what? We think this person is more interested than this person because this person brings more eggs in their basket than the other one. Or muffins in the basket, whatever you want to call that, for the vegans among us. And so essentially what you're doing is you're shooting yourself in the foot when you're not investing into your portfolio, when you're not sitting down and thinking through it. Not just copying somebody else, not just following the bootcamp formula or templates they gave you, but essentially just sitting down and thinking for yourself who you are, who you want to be, or how do you want to be presented, or how do you want to present yourself, and which positions you think or you want to apply for. And so based on that, you would kind of tinker your portfolio a little bit to be a little bit more targeted towards that space that you want to be in. But do not disregard everything you know or have in your in your previous experience, because this part is also very important. But that part should not be the main stage. That part should be part of your story. In your about page, a lot of portfolios that I see, especially among the seniors, which is really bizarre to me personally, is there is no about page. Do you really think that your work is more important than who you are? Think again. Because at the end of the day, I am hiring a person, a human being, and I want to know who they are. I don't give a shit if you work for Google. I don't give a shit if you work for Facebook. I don't give a shit if you work for Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Uber Eats, Uber, and whatever the fuck it is. I don't care. All these big names does not mean that you're better than somebody who does not have those big names in their portfolio. Really doesn't. But what matters to me and to so many other hiring managers is, who are you as a person? I want to know where you came from. I want to know your previous experience. I want to know if you're transitioned into this industry or not, and how and why. And why do you want to be a designer, or whichever designer you chose to be? Why do you think you're a good one? How do you think you're going to be contributing, if you're going to be contributing to any team? The list goes on of the things that I want to know about you, your outside experiences. What do you do for hobbies? If you read any books, what kind of books did you like? And so on and so forth, because all of these things will give me a better picture of who you are as a person. Because things like Figma, Sketch, InVision, XDs, Photoshops, and whatnot, I can teach you all that shit. I cannot teach you to be empathetic. I cannot teach you to be passionate. I cannot teach you to be compassionate. I cannot teach you to be a team player. I cannot teach you these human skills. You either have them or you don't. And if you don't, you can develop them, of course, but I would like to know. And so your part of who you are as a human being is a lot more important to me, rather than all the companies you worked at in the past and having 15 to 20 projects on your portfolio, because honestly, I don't have the fucking time to go through your 15 projects. No disrespect. I love looking at designs. Musely is my opening page on every single browser that I have, from my job, personal, and so forth. Why? Because I am constantly inspired by great work, and I love seeing it. But I just do not have the capacity to look at 15 different projects in somebody's portfolio. That's why I always recommend to have 3, maybe 5 tops. That's it. Just pick your 3 to 5 best work that you think is your best work and put it out there. If you don't have it, it's fine. We understand, as somebody who's just starting out in the industry might have only one project came from school. That's fine. You want to add to it, my high recommendation to anyone who's just starting out, take your personal website and your portfolio and use it as a case study. Run it through the same process you've learned at a bootcamp course or whatnot. Do the interviews, understand your target audience, who's going to be visiting your website, how they're going to be navigating it, where they're going to be going, what are the statistics, how do you optimize it, how do you make it navigatable, how do you make it readable, and the list goes on. Use it as a case study. To me, that will be even more important to look at. Why? Because to me, that means you see your portfolio as an important asset of you growing and getting your next job, and then the next one, and the next one, and showcasing what you have done, and the stories you tell about your projects and who you are and how you went about these projects. Also, an important aspect of your portfolio, your case studies or projects, what do you want to call them? I like to call them projects, not case studies. I'm not necessarily a scientific researcher, so I'm not going to call things case studies and things like that. I like to call them projects, but that's just me personally and my personal opinion. However, the way you structure these studies or projects, whatever the fuck it is, have to be followed what exactly you've done on that project. Because if you present to me 3 or 5 projects on your portfolio and every single one of them literally has the exact same steps, all it just tells me, you do not understand user experience. You do not understand the design world. Because you just replicated the templates and you just followed the exact same thing without telling me the actual story of how you went about creating this project or working on it. And as always, I am distracted by my watch. So think about it in that way. And so at the end of the day, portfolio is that one important aspect of you getting your next job. Resume is the secondary, or even the third one. And I'll be honest with you, I rarely even look at resumes. I would look at your LinkedIn, I would look at your portfolio. That's it. If you do not have a portfolio when you apply to any job that I posted at any company that I work right now, and or will work in the future, if there is no portfolio on your application goes into dismiss automatically. Period. Again, as I stated at the beginning of the opening of this video, I do not care what other people think about portfolios. I do not care that other people may think that portfolios are not important. They are to me, and they are to a lot more design leaders and managers in the industry than to those who think that portfolio is not important. I'd rather know who the person is, have a conversation. Great. I will have a conversation with you after I've learned who you are from your portfolio. So, let's do a conclusion of this video quickly. Number one, portfolio is a must. If you apply for any creative job, you have to have a portfolio. If you don't, do not expect to get an interview or to get into that job. Number two, on your landing page has literally half a second to maximum a second to capture my attention. Please do not use cliches, sentences of, hi, my name X, Y, and Z. I am a X designer. I love solving human problems through design thinking and creating delightful experience for the human race, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. I don't give a shit. Doesn't mean anything to me, whatever you just said on that little sentence. That everyone seems to be copying from one another and keep doing this on their portfolios. What I do want to know is who you are. Something along the lines of, hi, my name is so-and-so. I specialize in X, Y, and Z. Short sentence. I came from whatever experience into this industry because of X, Y, and Z passion that I had in life. And I want to continue doing X, Y, and Z in this industry because I think I am blah, blah, blah. Just short sentence about who you are, where you came from, why you became a designer, and why do you want to be a designer. Simple as that. Try to be more human. Try to present you, not copy other people. Just be you. And that's the important part. Now, we covered the importance of portfolio. We covered the importance of the landing page. Case studies, please, for the love of God, have each case study follow the exact same pattern as the project actually went, not as a bootcamp told you to create a formula or create a template. No, follow it as the project went. Here's a little hint. In order to do that, whatever project you're working on, take notes. Literally throughout the entire project. Oh, we started with X, Y, and Z. Then we did wireframes. Then we did research. Then we did user flows. Then we went back and did user journeys. Then we did prototypes. Then we did testing. Then we came back to the flows. And so on and so forth. Take those notes. It will help you structure your case study or project when you're ready to do that on your portfolio. So that was 3. Number 4, about. One of the most important parts of your portfolio is your about, because people like myself, and I'm not the only one who does that, FYI. I land on your portfolio, you captured my attention, awesome, you've done a great job. The second thing I do, I don't go to your work. I go to your about page and I read about you. If I am interested in you as a human being and I read your about, and it's a story that you're engaging me and I'm interested in, then I'll go and look at your work to kind of close this loop of, okay, impressive website, awesome story of this person. I like this person. This person is really interesting. I think this person will bring an interesting experience to my team. Let's see what they can do. That's the circle that I'm looking to close, and then eventually confirm when I do a preliminary call with you if you're applying for a job at my team, to kind of confirm that yes, you are that interesting person, yes, you've done all this work and you're good at it, then let's continue having a conversation. So, landing page, what was the second one? I'm sorry. Importance of portfolio, landing page, how you structure your case studies, and your about. The 4 most important things on your portfolio are these 4 things. On that note, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, if you disagree with me, and I'm sure some people will, which is fine, please comments below this video. I respond to every person that posts a comment. Either it's a question or a statement or, I don't know, bitching about something or disliking something. I'll still respond if anyone wants me to respond. So, below the video, please, thank you. For those of you who are new here and watching this video for the first time, thank you for coming to my channel. This is Designer Head. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you know every time I post a new video. For those of you who've been watching me for all the videos that I've been doing over the last half a year, and the ones who are new here, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching, and never stop learning.